Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day Lewis FC make their Premier League debut, and we're playing Man City away from home in the very first game. In this save game, Pep Guardiola is still Man City manager, which is mad. But if I do want to find a positive, a certain cyborg is no longer in the Premier League and instead playing for Real Madrid, so that's a little bit of a relief. That said, Man City did finish second in the league last season. Oddly enough, Brighton in third, Bournemouth in sixth. I kind of like this universal Liverpool at the top of the table too. Yes, folks, how is it going? And a warm welcome back. It's our debut in the Premier League, like I already mentioned. Last season, every team that got promoted went straight back down. We are really going to be trying to avoid that fate. Although, if you watch the last transfer special, well, you might not think that is something I'm trying to avoid. Now, to be fair, we do still have £15 million in the transfer budget and a lot of wage budget. I've started to cave to certain players' demands, and I'm squirreling money away because I think the wage structure is going to change quite radically over the next year. But we could still sign players. But since last episode, I've not signed anyone. Actually, you know what? That is a lie. I signed one player, a Park to Prem Hall of Famer, Caleb Anson. If you know, you know. If you don't know, he's just a homegrown in nation goalie. I think he can do a job for us. We'll see how he gets on. And I say he'll do a job for us. I mean, that should just be collecting balls in training, really. If he's on the pitch, we've had a lot of injuries in net. Now, you might know, it does say I've signed Sheldon Gordon. I have signed him back on loan because I sold him to PSG. Yes, this man was in the last year of his contract, and to be honest, it kind of caught me off guard. He told me he wanted to explore options at the end of his deal. I didn't want to lose him to nothing. We've sold him to PSG for just shy of £10 million. He does have, though, a 50% of any future sale clause included. So if he does develop Sheldon Gordon, we will get a really nice kickback. The only other real notable departure was Zongo. We've sold him to Southampton. Staying on the south coast, he departed for £4.6 million for a man we signed on a free transfer. I think that's a rather good return. I like Zongo, but he isn't going to be in our first team going up into the Premier League, and to get, a few million for him, you can't really be mad about. There were a few sales of players in the under-21s that are worth mentioning. Ivicic has gone to Maribor. The Croatian centre-back was a player we snapped up on a free transfer a few years ago. We've sold him on for $650k. And Ryu Tae-young did complete his move to John Buck Hyundai Motors. Of course, this was one that was ongoing at the end of last episode. He departed for just over £1 million, which is some nice profit. I feel like normally when you get promoted to the Premier League, you kind of go mad with your money. But with our reputation, I just don't really feel like there's that many opportunities, I suppose, to improve the team out there. Given the young age of our squad, given the potential of our squad, obviously we've made 2 additions in Vladimir, who I'm hoping is going to be a real revelation at centre mid. I feel like Milan, very kind to loan him to us. Of course, the loan fee that I have paid isn't insignificant. It's just shy of £2 million. But you know what? £2 million to have this guy for one season is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. And you know what? Kenneth Gromman, I thought was going to be more universally hated in the comments. People actually think this might be a good deal. I think they're right. £35 million for this guy is a lot of money for a young centre-back, but he fits our system superbly. He will be playing as that wide left-footed centre-back, and I do really like the look of him. Now, I really have ummed and ahed with the tactics and how I want to approach this season, but I have kind of come to the conclusion that playing with a centre attacking mid is just a little bit too risky. I feel like defensive solidity is needed, and a 3 at the back is definitely a route to achieve that. And I do feel like we have a real abundance of defensive talent. One decision I have made this year is that Jimenez is going to be a starter for us at centre-back. We actually played him in, I think, 15 or 16 championship matches as a starter. It's a weird one, right? Because if I compare him with O'Loughlin, I feel like he is a little bit of a step down. Say that. He is a step down, but not in the technicals department, but certainly physically and mentally he is. But at 19, with as much potential as Jimenez has, I kind of want to give him the opportunity to learn on the job. In terms of the rest of the team, I have kind of reviewed things a little bit. Last year, we played with an inside outlet winger on one side out of possession and a winger on the other. This year, I think both our wide players need to drop deeper. I did experiment in my mind with different ideas for what we could do, but I kind of look at Garcia and his slight inability to defend, and the same with Sassy, really, and his defence kind of maybe being his weakness, and obviously that's the case for both our fullbacks. I feel like they're going to need the support of the players in front of them just to shield them now that we're making this step up. I will say, in terms of the tactics, I'm not wedded to what we are doing here. It is the system that we used when we were newly promoted to the Championship, and it worked well there as a real underdog kind of strategy. And I feel like it really does suit the players that we've got. There is one minor change I've made, though. I am going to invite crosses this year, which I think is sensible given the players that we've got. If I just put the physicals kind of column up here and you look at the jumping reach in our team, particularly with our defensive players, our players are bloody massive. We have so many absolute giants in the team. We must be one of the tallest teams in the league. Certainly in terms of the jumping reach, it is right up there. And I just feel like this is something we do really need to lean into. Yes, I definitely feel like inviting crosses, giving teams a little bit of space in the wide area, probably isn't the worst idea in the world. When we're defending, it is going to be a 5-4-1 formation. And of course, we are going to look to break quickly and really commit players up the pitch when we do go on the attack. Now, in terms of the matches today, first up, we've got an away day against Man City. We are doing the away day. And after that, we are going to take on Nottingham Forest at home. Obviously, this first game, kind of expecting us to get absolutely slaughtered. Nottingham Forest, I'm going to view as slightly more winnable. I have had a quick look at their team. Amara Diouf, who starts at Generation Foot in Football Manager, has developed very, very well in this universe. I mean, look how good this man is. I think you can sign him for less than £1 million in your own Football Manager save games. So yeah, keep an eye open for this guy. But yeah, in this universe, quite a good footballer. The kind of quality that even Nottingham Forest can possess, which, with respect to Nottingham Forest, really does terrify me. What I really mean by that is, in the age of modern football, the money that all Premier League teams have, but especially those that are slightly more established, the players that they can sign are just absolutely silly in real life, but also just in Football Manager. And of course, when we do look at the season preview, we are predicted to finish rock bottom. So the bookies don't think we've got the quality to survive. I feel like we've really got to lean into our superb aerials and kind of really quick attackers as maybe a way that we can just grind out points. But yeah, I feel like we need a month or two to really figure out what are the objectives this season. Anyway, up first today, we've got a game against Man City. They are being linked with a regen called Hojo in this universe, who I need to show you because he's absolutely bonkers. Pleased to report they've not signed him yet. He's a centre-back with 4 jumping reach. Bayern Munich manager, just trade him to play defensive mid. Just accept it. Yeah, this guy's absolutely crazy, isn't he? But alas, he is not at the Etiad yet. Fingers crossed they don't sign him at any point because he'd be annoying to deal with for many, many years to come. We've got an away day to do. Let's go see what it's all about. Just while I'm thinking about away days, if you're wondering, Jack, what's going on with your stadium this year? I've actually not heard anything. I think we might still be playing at the Dripping Pan, which is definitely a bug. I'm not sure if that is a Football Manager bug or an issue with our database. Nevertheless, yeah, we'll find out when we take on Nottingham Forest shortly. Anyway, here is the Etiad in all its glory. And the actual kind of Etiad campus is absolutely bonkers. Of course, this stadium was originally built, I believe, for the Commonwealth Games many, many years ago. You've got the kind of Etiad training ground just across the road, literally. They've got a bridge running between it. I actually kind of, and this is really good, if you've got an academy, having all your players in this environment where they're kind of, engrossed in the club, they play down the road from the stadium, it really kind of means that jump up to play in the first team isn't so huge. I kind of want to start by looking at the campus. There are actually some dots here, which surprises me slightly. If I click here, okay, well, we get some drone footage, which is nice. So you've got a training pitch here, more training pitches, although, annoyingly, they clearly couldn't secure the land for this corner here. Actually, you know what? I think there's a road. But I do feel like this is just really cool. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Man City's women's team play at this stadium here. If I go down to the stadium here, does that make it a 2-for-1? I think it does. Here is the entrance to the stadium. Where are we here? I kind of assumed that the Etihad campus was exclusively for the football club. Now I'm questioning because it feels a bit like a university building. Did the University of Manchester use this building as well? I found another entrance here to the stadium. Admittedly, I'm trying to guess the date based on the kits. It's Christmas time. Look at the Christmas tree they've got up. Can anyone recognise these people? I think they must be coaches. Anyone know? Anyone Man City fans? How hardcore a fan are you? I tell you what, it's a good job this isn't the away day. There's literally no views of the pitch. The dots on the pitch don't take me anywhere near it. Meanwhile, okay, we are going to be able to enjoy an away day. So you've got the Etihad Stadium here, and then there's just an athletics track and another stadium here. Do you need this many stadiums, next to one another? I have questions. I was initially thinking, right, is there enough parking here? What's going on with the parking? Then I saw this bit here and thought, that's good. And then I went over this bridge. Oh, look at the efficiency of the car parking painted lines as well. They've really used the space. You could say they've WorkTheSpace. Now, I don't want to poo-poo Google it. They've not sent a Street View van since, well, 2010. This footage here is 16 years old. Gosh, 2010 was 16 years ago. I feel old. I'll tell you what, seeing the old Man City badge kind of makes me nostalgic. I think I prefer the old one. Right, well, annoyingly, it seems like all the Street View footage is outdated, but there is a line around the pitch. Maybe the line around the pitch can give me hope. No, it's also from 2010. I think this is before they extended. I think it was this stand they extended. Or was it this one? I feel like they've definitely made the ground bigger. I am curious by the cluster of dots here outside the stadium. What are the dots? Oh, okay, they're just of the shop, which admittedly looks really, really nice. I am questioning, why have they blurred out the faces? It's like a game of Guess Who today's away day. Welcome to the city square. Firstly, I hate the font. I see what they were trying to do by making, you know, the queue a square, but it's atrocious. Also, the city square. I feel like they've really tried to make this into a thing. I mean, it's not quite Henman Hill, is it? I'll tell you what, I've already shown my age there by mentioning Henman Hill as Henman Hill. Gosh, I'm old. Right, there are some dots in the stadium. Maybe these can bail us out. Gary was there in 2017, and yeah, they definitely did expand the stadium, didn't they? We have here Man City lifting their Premier League trophy as champions, and I mean, look at it. This was a record attendance that season. Look, it's never this full. I'm sorry, Man City fans, it was a joke. Please don't dislike the video. Just kidding, I can handle 5 dislikes. Okay, if you're not a Man City fan, you do have to go down now and just leave a like, because it was funny. Well, I've ended up in a box by accident. This is a very classy box, isn't it? I wonder who the sponsors of the stadium are. The fact you go into a box like this and spend all this money and then it's still got Etiad sponsorship is absolutely mental, isn't it? I feel like the TV could be bigger in the box. But maybe I'm just being really critical. I have no doubt the stadium looks a lot nicer from the outside than it did in 2010. Can someone let Google know they need to drive a lap of the Etihad, please? Because this is the away day I have to judge. And this is one of the most depressing entrances to a football stadium I've seen. First away day in a little while. First away day in the Premier League. The Etihad, I'm going to give a unremarkable, unspectacular... It's a 5 out of 10, isn't it? It's the definition of average. Anyway, now that I'm done slaying their stadium, we're going to play them and hope we don't get battered. When it comes to the team, there really isn't that many changes to the squad from last season. We've stuck largely with the players that we know and love. Of course, Gromman is making his debut at centre-back. £35 million spent on this 18-year-old. Really could do with him hitting the ground running. And of course, the only other new player in the team is Vladimir at centre-mid, in on loan from AC Milan. I don't think there's a world where we trigger the optional £75 million fee that they kind of negotiated in for us, although very kind for Milan to include that. In terms of the rest of the team, though, it is literally the team that got us out the championship, and it's probably woefully unprepared for this game today. But you know what? We are a newly promoted Premier League team making our plunge into the big time. I forgot there's all the Premier League licensing and graphics now. They're so much better than the EFL ones for how nice they look in Football Manager. It also means we get the cutscene. And we've got new kits for the year, so this is very, very exciting. Lewis FC and Manchester City appearing side by side on that banner as we see the staff and referees phase through a wall. Oh, it brings a tear to your eye. It's beautiful. I mean, the next 90 minutes are probably going to be anything but what a moment. And even Pep looks like Pep from behind. Even up close from the front, he looks like Pep. Oh, you know what? I'm excited for this. This is massive. Welcome, Lewis FC, to the big time. And I'll tell you what, if we get a goal early doors, I'll be very, very happy. I should have mentioned it earlier, by the way. Jesus Maria Garcia has signed a new contract, and Cardozo is in the process of signing a new contract too. Cardozo is about to go on to £30,000 a week. All I'm saying is, for that kind of money, I'm expecting some absolute fireworks from our players today. Maybe that's a silly thing to expect. They've got Zaire Emery in their team. This is awful. Mankovic shoots over. Nana, as a reminder, the new #1 in goal. A big call made there. I'd love him to have some man-of-the-match performance away against Man City. All right, you know what? I'm going to encourage the players here. 20 minutes into our Premier League debut, we've not conceded. We could be on the attack. Sassy at left wing-back. Imagine, we're going to have 10 players, including the goalie, behind the ball at all times. Aguiar! Oh, BJS's shot was blocked. We nearly went ahead. I feel like our out of possession shape actually looks more attacking than it is. Of course, this is the shape when we kind of face up against an opposition goal kick. But with these tracking wingers, they are going to drop really deep. Aguiar might be a little bit isolated this year. If I feel like he's too much on his lonesome, we maybe will shift up and change up one of those kind of wide roles. But I feel like he has got the physicality to hold up the play when needed. Obviously, a game like this one today, he is not going to have many touches of the ball. It's going to be a real challenge for him and the team. And I think there's going to be a lot of this, trying to weather the storm and trying to stop Arda Güler scoring. It's 1-0 Man City. I'm looking at VAR to bail me out. VAR, can you do me a favour? Can we disallow the goal? We can't. It took 35 minutes for VAR to ruin everything. Arda Güler in behind, and I'm not sure Nana is to blame there. But you know what? A goal down. Just still shout encouragement at the players. Look at that. Green, happy, smiley faces. I feel like only being a goal down at the Etihad on our debut really isn't that offensive of a performance. Like, apologies to anyone who's watching this on TV or a match of the day. We're probably up last. There's not going to be a load of entertaining matches this season. I hope there will be some. But, like, we are going to be looking to grind out results. We are going to be looking to limit teams' opportunities and catch them on the break initially. I want to see how feasible this strategy is. Naturally, if it isn't working out, we've got the ability to change things up. But we've got this athleticism and this physicality. And I feel like that is our strength. That is what we have to lean into as Maria Garcia. Can he make something happen, the right back? Inside, Cardozo whips it. Julio takes it down. Crosses it back in. Garcia hits the crossbar. Aguiar can't get the rebound. It's not cleared away yet. Garcia can't turn with the ball. Grommen is now getting it forward. Sassy. We've got them on the back foot. We've got them on the ropes. We are swinging and the highlight just ends. You can't end it there, game. I think they're swaying. I think their legs have turned to jelly. I don't know why I'm making all these boxing analogies, but we're in a scrap. Vladimir goes down in a heap. He learnt that in Milan, that diving. No penalty given, sadly. Zabani now looking to get it out from the back for Man City, although that's an atrocious pass. Aguiar turns. Donnarumma denies him. We could literally be drawing right now. You know what? Shout some praise at the players. We might be a goal down. That was quality. That is the dream start to this second half. Admittedly, right, there is now only half an hour left. And there comes a point here where I do have to go, right, we're going to go and attack now. Is it too soon to do that now? I think it might be. Dylan Tierney, by the way, last year's centre mid signing we made in January. I'm training to play out on the right-hand side. Scenario where I mentioned last episode we lack depth, but rather than sign someone in, I'm going to give Dylan a go and see how he fares. So he's going to come on there. Aguiar is on a booking here. I don't love that. So let's bring in Maseni. And you know what? I'm going to take off Quinones as well. Let's get in a fresh front three. In terms of the rest of the team, Garcia is on a booking. He kept getting sent off at the end of last year. I've got to be sensible, haven't I? 4 changes made, not touching the system just yet, but we will tweak things as and when we need to. And yeah, this is the kind of game where I want to keep it to a 1-goal game and then with 15 minutes left, go for it. I think Man City heard that I wanted to try and last till 15 minutes and then go for it because it's, what, 18 minutes from time? They're on the attack, although they have given the ball away here and now we can look to maybe bring some players forward and attack. Grommen, the new record signing, 35 million. What a ball that is. Tierney's in behind. Can he finish it? How have we not scored? How have we could have won this. We literally could have won this. You know what? Despite the fact we're losing, I'm oddly optimistic based on what I've seen here. Like, we've hit them on the break. We've got these direct balls forward. I feel like teams are going to be a little disrespectful to us this year, and that is something we can really look to make, well, an advantage happen with. I am going to change things up here. I'm going to play Vladimir at the number 10 position. He is a really, really creative player. So we're going to play him in that free roll roam. If I just show you kind of his attributes here, he's pretty good. Bendel is going to make his debut, the 18-year-old Austrian at centre mid. Actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm bringing in Addons. I'm bringing in Addons. Get Bendel off the pitch. Just as a reminder, Addons is the 18-year-old that we signed from Nigeria, who I think is absolutely mental. 20 determination, loads of room to grow. I want to see him really shine this year, and he will get minutes off the bench. I'm really going to try and give minutes to all the younger players where possible. It's not going to be a charity do. Actually, at the end of the day, a lot of them are the rotation players. Güler's already scored one. He's over a set piece. This is absolutely terrifying. He steps up. He shoots. It's gone over. We were on positive. I'm going to go to attacking for the last 5 minutes. Well, the assistant hasn't shown how much added time there's going to be just yet, but it's still a 1-goal game. We've still got so many players behind the ball. We're crowding out the middle. Sassy wins it. Played forward. Maseni. Brought in for Aguiar. That is a crazy pass. Great vision there. Look at the players we've got forward here. There's so many of them. There's a flock of them in the middle. Creti was playing for Plymouth Argyle 2 years ago in League One. He's now playing here. Back post. Silva. It's in. It's in. I think. Donnarumma scored an own goal. It's the weirdest goal I've ever seen. I do not care. What's happened? Did Donnarumma drop that across his own line? Creti put it in. Silva wins the header. What happens here? He's taken it across his own line, the dingus. Oh my word, it's 1-1. Right, before the game kicks off, I can't go to the more defensive system because I don't have a centre-back. Well, in that case, we'll just go to balanced on this mentality. And then for the outlet rolls, lads, if you could just track back, that'd be good. And you know what, Maseni, you come back as well. Everyone just come back and defend when we don't have the ball. 5 minutes of added time. Why is there a highlight? Why is there a highlight? I've dragged all the players back. Am I about to regret this? I didn't have a centre-back to bring in, so we have to play a back four. Oh, not like this, Football Manager. Creti wins it. Lewis is bringing it forward at left-back. Savinho. Why did I bring everyone back? What have I done? Ardagula squares it. It's blocked. It's blocked. Right, to Manmore. Come on, lads. There's 4 minutes to hold on. Please. 2 minutes. 1 minute. The clock is going to strike midnight. I was about to say it's not actually ended yet. I was about to say we're going to go to the ball, Cinderella. Let's not leave our silver slipper. Let's get in the pumpkin. Let's get out of here. Let's head down south. Why are they on the attack? Ardagula, is he going to keep this in? He is. Oh, no. Oh, no. Savinho whipped in. It's headed away. Second ball, lads. Oh, my word. Nana stops it. That's got to be it. That's the game. That is the game. Premier League debut away against Man City. Can we end the game, please? We can end the game. Oh, my word. I mean, shout out to Donnarumma for the own goal, but it was an own goal that we forced. That was a satisfying result. Bloomin' heck. I feel like I need to go lay down. That's the first game of the season. Youthful Lewis, draw against Man City. For some reason, on the goal scorers, it's telling me that our goalie scored it. I love FM26. Great goal, Nana. Also, Creti got man of the match. How has Creti got man of the match when I subbed him on at right back? You know what? Let's not ask questions. Let's bask in the fact that we are not bottom of the table and bask in the fact David Addons made his debut. Well, that game was absolutely bonkers. Nottingham Forest, who were taken on, haven't even played yet. We are going to take them on in a week. I mean, I think we can beat them now. First game at home, let's see what happens. And also, where are we playing? Okay, folks, we are back a week later, and you might notice the recruitment budget has gone down quite a lot. We've made 2 signings for just shy of £13 million combined. They were 2 deals that were actually already going on, but I wanted a mid-episode surprise. Let's talk about them. The first is Juan Pereira. He is a very, very good centre-back. He can play right wing-back and right-back, which is always a Brucey bonus, but with 18 jumping reach and just a really well-rounded, technically gifted player, I think he's really well-suited to play as a wide centre-back for us. The issue that I've kind of had with someone like Haddad is he's a bit of a one-trick pony. He can do the defending, he can run around, but actually in terms of having the ball at his feet, he's really not that competent with it. And obviously with the transition to wide centre-backs, we now have Gromman out on the left. I kind of wanted to find the Gromman of the right, and I feel like in Pereira, we have really found that man. He is 22, so he's not getting any younger, although he'd only turned 22 a couple of months ago. And I do feel like he's a player that has a little bit of potential now, and ultimately, for an outlay of £10 million, I think he is more than capable of doing a job in the Premier League for us as a newly promoted side. I guess the pain point is his wages are £30,000 a week. There is also a couple of release clauses in here, but I've kind of come around and accepted the fact I'm going to have to up the wages a little bit. You can see here, Cardozo also on 30,000, as is Jesus Maria Garcia, who I mentioned earlier. These longer contracts, though, are nice ones. It's a 5-year deal that Cardozo has signed. There is a minimum release clause of £70 million, but we are kind of in the situation right now where I think if I got a bid of 70 million for any of our players, I would naturally just have to take it. And as for Maria Garcia, £26,000. This guy's not cheap, but no release clause in his deal and also an optional 3-year extension, making this essentially an 8-year contract for the 20-year-old, a player who is due to get homegrown at club. I still have really, really high hopes for. even if he is a little bit of a nutter. There are still a few players like BJS, Silva and Haddad who are actually now asking to leave because they've not been given the new contracts they wanted. But I feel like in the case of all these players, I don't know if they've got the same longevity. Like, don't get me wrong, BJS is a great player for us. Is he someone who is going to be worth £30,000 a week relative to our squad and be one of the leading players come maybe the end of the season? I'm just not convinced. And given the fact he's got a 2-year deal, it just feels like a bit of a silly kind of contract to offer him. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of players come the end of the year that are on about this £20,000 a week range. I want to avoid the release clauses where we can. Obviously, relegation release clauses are something that I'm going to toy with. I'm going to hope based on that first game of the year, we're going to be fine and we don't need to worry about it. But it does mean that sadly, despite the fact we do have £200,000 free on the wage budget, which I could theoretically jig into the transfer budget, I'm kind of needing to squirrel this away because I think there's a lot of players already at the club that are going to be asking for wage rises, and I do need to keep some players on side. Like, morale is very, very important if we are going to be, in a bit of a relegation scrap this year. I mean, of course, fingers crossed, touch wood, we're not going to be in a relegation scrap this year, and we're going to win our first home game of the year as we take on Nottingham Forest. I'm still not sure where this game is being played. The game says that we're still playing at the Dripping Pan. And I'm now questioning, is that a database issue or is that a Football Manager issue, the fact that we've not moved stadiums? Also, I just realised I mentioned there were 2 players that I've signed. I didn't talk about the second one, did I? Spoljar is pretty blooming exciting. What I will say is, he can't play striker. I've signed him to be a rival to Aguiar at striker. I wish he was a little bit quicker, but with 17 jumping reach, I think he could be a bit of a phenom in our team. He's got 18 finishing, but I'm looking at kind of his passing and his vision, which are also really solid. His off the ball, his flair. He's got a really kind of complete look about him. He's only 19 as well. We've snapped him up for £3 million, which I think is a great bargain. Obviously, the gamble is I've signed him to play striker and he can't play striker, so we've got to see how quickly he can pick up the position. And in addition to that, you'll note here, does have a release clause of £22 million, which for a player this good is way too cheap. I'm going to hope that before the January transfer window, I can sit down, talk about another new contract with this guy, hopefully get him locked in for the long haul, because I really like the look of this guy, and if my scouts and my staff are right about his potential, like, he could be absolutely quality. At £3 million, it's one of those players where I didn't really need him, but when a player this good's available for £3 million, you just buy them. And you might be sat thinking, Jack, he's very similar to some of your other players. My refute to that would simply be, yeah, you're kind of right. I'm looking at Reza Maseni and Dylan Tierney thinking, lads, one of you might need to be sold before the window closes. Otherwise, one of you is going to be unhappy that you're not playing. Potentially both of you are going to be unhappy that you're not playing, but the new lad's just better than you both. And on top of that, I really want to give Zidane Zidi some minutes this year. The striker is a really exciting player who I have told is going to be a regular starter. I'm actually training him to play out on the right-hand side. I think that is a kind of role and a position which kind of suits his attributes. He's great with the ball at his feet. Not got the best passing, but he's got some decent finishing, some decent acceleration. Maybe wish his pace was a little bit better, but he is a young gun. And I want to give this guy some Premier League minutes too. Basically, we've gone from not having enough attackers to probably having too many in the space the last 6 months. But you know what? That's fine. It's Football Manager. They can scrap amongst themselves. We'll see if the cream rises to the top. And well, hopefully it does in this game here. And we are that cream. Pereira making his debut at centre-back. On the bench, we do have Spoljar as well. I could throw him on if I get desperate. I do feel a little bit bad for Haddad and O'Loughlin, but I do feel like Gromman, Jimenez and Pereira as kind of a long-term centre-back setup is just simply put our best players. Okay, I can confirm we are still playing in the same stadium that we started the save game at. You know what? They threw the rules out the window for us. Welcome to the Dripping Pan. I feel like these Premier League graphics were never meant to be seen in a stadium so small. And I kind of love the fact they do just work. Look at it. We're here. It's our shed behind the goal. I love this. This just makes me happy. Oh, look at it. Look at... How can you not love football? Right, let's win a game. Oh, my word. Maria Garcia from kickoff. Imagine Quinones heads over. That was nearly a goal inside 20 seconds. Oh, no, they've got Lorenzo Luca up top and Juve. I mentioned Juve earlier. Luca's just a cheat code in Football Manager, isn't he? He is a scary bloke. They've also got, like, Jurel Hato in their team. They've got, like, proper good players. And Cucurella at left-back. Forest are cooking. We're approaching half an hour played in this game. Nottingham Forest yet to have a shot on target. They're having more of the ball. Teams are going to have a lot of the ball against us. I'm happy to accept that. We are parking 7 players behind the ball. The wing-backs tracking back after that initial press. And we're just trying to, cause an upset on the counter. Unfortunately, through 43 minutes here and almost the entire half, that has meant that there are no highlights for either team. It's one of the worst halves of football ever, but we're on course for a point. I know they say, 40 points to stay up in the Premier League. Actually, if you get 38 points, historically, that's usually pretty good going and will keep you up. So let's just draw every game. That sounds like a good plan to me. Admittedly, in this kind of game at home where we are seemingly on top, there is that desire to, change up our system and go to the more attacking one to try and make something happen. At the same time, I know we're going to be left exposed in making that choice to kind of drop a centre-back for a centre-mid. And actually, based on how this game's played out so far, I don't necessarily think we need to change things up to get a goal here. Sassy at left wing-back, burns past his man, options in the middle maybe, goes past more. Sassy, you're a left-back, son, what are you doing? It's blocked. Pereira making his debut, first bit of action for him. Vladimir, Garcia, Quinones forgets to jump. I mean, that was a chance. It's weird, right? For I think like the last 6 months of this save game, there were just lots of what felt almost like dead rubber games because of how we ran away with the championship. Suddenly we're in the Premier League and I feel like every highlight and every moment matters and I'm living it a lot more. We've got 30 minutes left here. We've been so far on top in this game. Is it silly to go to the more attacking system? I think this is something I am going to want to do on the regular. The question is, do I want to do it in this game here? And you know what the answer is? The answer is absolutely. Now, the nice thing is when we play this system, Spoljar, the new man, can technically fit into the team. Because he can only play centre attacking mid, I'm going to play him out of possession as a tracking attacking midfielder. Basically does the same role as what we were doing already. Do I want to change these other roles here? I don't know if I do. You know what? Quinones, you stay as an inside outlet winger. And same for BJS. I want to try and hit Forest on the counter. Aguiar's not had the best of games. Let's bring Ziddy in for his debut, the 18-year-old with a massive moment. Silva as well. He was the man who forced that error out of Donnarumma for our goal with the back post header. I'm a little bit concerned about Sassy on a booking, but I think I've just got to keep the faith with him. Vladimir's not had the best of games today, so you know what? Let's bring in Addons, the new youngster as well. I say the new youngster. Half the team are new youngsters, it feels like. But I do like this team a lot. I am just wondering, in possession, would it be sensible just to go to regular wing-backs with this system? And you know what? I think it probably would be. I really like advanced wing-backs. It's one of my favourite roles this year in Football Manager, but I feel like sometimes they can be a bit of a liability, especially with only 2 centre-backs sat behind them. And I think we do have to show a bit of respect to our Premier League rivals. 18 minutes left here. Since I've changed things, I think Forest have actually had a bit of a statistical swing in their favour, which is a bit concerning. But you know what? We've got the ball here. We've got Cardozo. We've got Spoljar making his debut, losing the ball. That can't be the first touch that he has, that I see, that just leads to a goal, can it? It's whipped in. Luca heads wide. Lorenzo Luca's bloody massive, isn't he? And I will say, if you've played Football Manager 24 for more than 100 hours, you've encountered Lorenzo Luca. He's just a big bloke. He was good in FM23 as well. I feel like in real life he's had a bit of a fall-off, but Football Manager haven't got the memo yet. He's up front, he's great in the air, he scares me. Forest in possession, Hatto through the middle, Uzun, McAtee stepping up with the ball, the number 6, bearing down on goal, shoots, oh my word, what a save by Nana in goal. That save was made, I've shouted some encouragement, there's green happy smiley faces across the bottom of my screen. Based on how this game is shifted when I've changed systems, I'm beginning to think that maybe changing the shape like I have isn't always going to be the way to go, he says, as a free kick emerges in a dangerous area. Maybe I'm going to take it back. Ziddy, Spoljar, Cardozo scores! Ziddy with the secondary assist. Spoljar gets the assist. Cardozo, top earner. That's why we give him the big bucks. He's volleyed it in. Ziddy took the initial free kick. Spoljar here. I mentioned he's got good jumping reach. His heading isn't actually the best. He headed it into the right area and Cardozo fires it in off the post. We're a goal up. Against Man City, I was hoping for lots of added time. Here I'm hoping there's going to be little. There is 2 minutes left. We are holding on. We are going to get 4 points in our first episode in the Premier League. Have they been by narrow margins, these wins? Yes. Do I care? Not at all. This is what we need to do. We need to absorb pressure, get players by the ball, make the most of set pieces. That is what we've done there. We need to do that more. Something that's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on is our club finances this year. With the transfers that we made, we actually ended up dipping into the red quite significantly. So at the moment, we are sat at minus £1 million. When I come back next episode, I'll show you the finances in a month with our low wage spend, with the massive amount of TV money. I suspect we're going to be quite far in the positive when I'm back, even in just a few weeks' time. Anyway, I am on cloud nine after today's episode. We end the episode 6th in the Premier League. I'm going to go have a lay down. That was bloody bonkers, wasn't it? If you enjoyed the late drama in both episodes today, go down below, show some love. We're back next time with more. And until then, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.